Country music legend Dolly Parton has captured America's heart thanks to her remarkable talent, sharp sense of humor, and down-to-earth nature. But what does she like to eat on any given day? Keep watching to discover what her favorite dishes are and how she stays so thin. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, as the old adage goes. And when it comes to Dolly Parton breaking her fast, one of her favorites is a Southern country classic, as she revealed to Marie Claire in 2020. "This morning, I made breakfast for my husband and me. I made some sausage patties and I baked some biscuits and I made some milk gravy. That sounds delicious and totally on brand for the Tennessee native." Lest you think that Parton jettisons her health concerns 7 days a week, she assured us that that wasn't the case, as she also noted, "Now, I can't eat like that all the time, but I enjoy eating it when I do." Obviously, moderation remains popular because it actually works. It's worth noting that one way that Parton's biscuits and gravy are different from everyone else's is that she always wears high heels while cooking. Yes, she really is that extra. It's a well-known fact that Dolly Parton is a hard worker. Whether she's cutting an album, touring all across the country, or writing songs in the early morning hours, she's never been one to just kick back and rest on her laurels. That means that she has to make sure to eat healthy in order to power her busy lifestyle. And with that in mind, she aims to stay on a low-carb diet during the week. Despite that discipline, she's not above taking a cheat day. In fact, she looks forward to taking a break from her diet with plenty of enthusiasm. As she told Parade in 2011, "When I know I have a day off, I say, make me a pan of cornbread." Talk about relatable. When Parton isn't on the road, she'll spend her off day with her husband just having a good time. As she noted to Parade, "If we're not cooking, we travel around in our camper, stop at fast food restaurants, and picnic. We love that stuff that will harden your arteries in a hurry." Parton had a pretty rustic upbringing in rural Tennessee in which her family would eat whatever was available. That included game meat like bear, rabbit, squirrel, and groundhog, so clearly she's not pretentious when it comes to food. Keep that in mind if you're ever lucky enough to get an invitation to have lunch at her home, as she'll probably cook you her favorite meal for entertaining. As she admitted to the New York Times in 1992, "I love roast pork, especially the fatty part. I can't help it. The greasier the food, the better." Chances are that she'd serve that meal with fried okra, turnip greens, and green beans to accompany the main porky dish. Considering Parton's preference for hearty, meaty meals and country-style cooking, it shouldn't come as a surprise that she's just not into food that could be described as cute. As she told The Times, "I don't like pretty food. The way I see it, if the food's too pretty, it ain't too good." When Parton left home and ventured into the big city after graduating from high school, she was introduced to all kinds of new foods. She was slow to come around to some of them though, but that's understandable considering what she ate during her childhood. As she confessed to the New York Times in 1992, "It took me years to eat a lot of shellfish. I was probably 20 years old before I had even seen a shrimp cocktail." We can't imagine there was too much sushi to spare at the Parton house either. Over time, the singer has developed a sincere appreciation for many of the fish in the sea, but her preferences for preparation can be readily traced back to her childhood. As she noted to The Times, "I like oysters but fried. The only things we had at home were frog legs, river fish, and catfish, and it was almost always fried." Despite never having tried shellfish while she was growing up, and only really appreciating the food as an adult, Parton has truly come to appreciate the taste of the briny food. In fact, when she dines out at one of her favorite haunts in New York City, her absolute favorite appetizer is Clam's Casino. That said, you're not likely to find a recipe for that dish in her cookbook Dolly's Dixie Fixins, which focuses more on comfort foods rooted in childhood gatherings.
Way down south in Dixie, it just representing Southern food and fixing stuff.
One thing that Dolly Parton is famous for is her profound appreciation of nature's perfect food, the potato. Whether it's baked, fried, diced into hash browns, or mashed with gravy, Parton is here for the humble potato in all of its delicious forms. As she raved to the New York Times in 1992, "That's it, just give me my potato, any kind of potato, and I'm happy."
Potatoes. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew.
We can't think of a single thing wrong with this sentiment. Besides, who would dare contradict Dolly Parton? The country legend loves potatoes so much that she credits them single-handedly for pushing her off of the diet wagon on multiple occasions. As she explained to The Times, "Every single diet I ever fell off of was because of potatoes and gravy of some sort. That's partly how I got into trouble a few years back. My career was getting very successful and I was going to all of these events where you eat and drink and sit on your backside. I had to lose 45 pounds after that." Have you ever heard of the cabbage soup diet, also known as the TWA stewardess diet, also known as the Dolly Parton diet? If not, it's pretty much what you'd expect from the name. You eat cabbage soup, a lot of it, and it's supposed to help you lose weight. Chances are that's the diet that Parton was referring to when she came across one named after her in a magazine. As she told People magazine, "It had nothing to do with me, but I thought I might as well see if I can lose weight on my own diet." Speaking of diets, Parton is no stranger to them, and not just those of the cabbage soup variety. As she tells it, whenever there's been a food plan that's been supposedly worth following, she's given it a shot at least once. She's even been quoted as saying, "I tried every diet in the book. I tried some that weren't in the book. I tried eating the book. It tasted better than most of the diets." Considering how insane some diets are, we're not surprised to hear that gnawing on a book can be a preferable option. While Parton feels very much at home when she's in her native Tennessee, she also spends a significant amount of her time on the road. That means that she occasionally has to eat out at restaurants, as she can't exactly bring her kitchen on tour with her, but it sure sounds like she doesn't mind getting her meals on the go, as she has quite the expansive palate when it comes to dining out. As she told the New York Times in 1992, "I love Indian, Italian, and Mexican food, and if it's a romantic type of thing, I like a good French restaurant. Of course, somebody else has to choose the wine." But don't think that Parton needs the restaurants she frequents to be high class, as she's also admitted a love for fast food, in particular Taco Bell. In a 2016 interview with SiriusXM, she admitted, "I love their tacos. They also have little pizzas that I love. Date night, my husband and I do whatever feels happy and comfortable with us. It's hard for me to get him to dress up to go to a nice dinner because he's just a country boy and hates that stuff. We do whatever's good." While Parton may enjoy dining out, sometimes she'll bring her own cooking on her tour bus. As she told Parade magazine in 2011, she'll bring her grits while traveling because of how hungry she gets while on the road. We're sure those grits are delicious, but when it comes to her signature dish, the one that she absolutely calls her own, it's actually another Southern classic, chicken and dumplings. Considering that Parton blessed the 2018 Netflix film Dumplin' with her approval, we're not surprised to learn that her signature dish bears the same name. We wouldn't be surprised if she eats it every night. Parade made sure to get their hands on Parton's chicken and dumplings recipe so that their readers could attempt to recreate the dish at home for themselves. If you pull it off, we imagine it just might make you feel like a queen for a day. Fun fact, Dolly Parton really enjoys drinking alcohol. She doesn't necessarily love the taste of all potent potables, though. As she explained to the New York Times in 1992, "You see, I don't like the taste of alcohol all that much, so I have a shot of tequila to get a quick buzz on. But there is one drink in that she actually does find herself thoroughly appreciating when it's time to have fun," as she admitted to the Times. "My favorite drink is really red wine. I don't know too much about different kinds, but I know I like the kind that has a little of that dryish feeling at the end, from wood or whatever." Based on that description, chances are Parton prefers a good Cabernet Sauvignon or a Pinot Noir rather than a port wine or a Chardonnay. There is one problem, though, that Parton experiences when she indulges. As she put it, "There's one problem I have with red wine. With my fair skin and everything, when I drink a few glasses, I start to turn all red." Does your family have a special recipe that's been passed down through the generations? Dolly Parton certainly does. As it turns out, the Parton clan would eat stone soup when the cupboards weren't as full as usual. During an appearance on the Hallmark Channel show Home and Family, the singer explained, "Mom used to tell us when we maybe didn't have that much to eat in our house, she would send us all out in the yard. She said, 'Go get me a rock.' Once each of the kids had selected the best stones possible, they'd bring them in, wash them up, and Parton's mom would pick the best one. And that's where the special flavor for the soup would come from. While Parton certainly has enough money now that she doesn't need to eat stone soup anymore, the recipe still brings her great comfort and nostalgia. It also reminds her of her mother, who was a nurturing and caring woman.
Mama had a way of making us feel good about everything.
When it comes to who inspires Dolly Parton in the kitchen, there's no question that her mother has imparted a lasting cultural legacy. So when the singer wants to whip up a dessert that summons childhood nostalgia, she turns to a certain tried and true recipe. As she revealed to People magazine in 2018, Mama used to make, it's like chocolate pudding really, but you put it in the skillet with flour and sugar and milk and you just make a pudding. Mama used to put it with biscuits.
Because of Mama, I've always tried to have a good heart. And I just want to love everybody.
Whenever Parton is in the kitchen, you better believe that she's honoring her family legacy. As she described it to People, Mama's gone now, but she's not gone in our memory and in our cooking. So many of the best recipes are from family traditions, and we think it's absolutely lovely and delicious that Parton has shared some of hers with the rest of the world. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite stars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.